Or Phoenix Wright. Hopefully we get this case over and done with. I want to do more cases, but man, I'm invested, but I also kind of want to move on to a different flavor, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, this one's still got a while in it.
Oh wow.
I don't think we're gonna finish it today.
Ah, don't discourage me.
Sorry.
I do want to say before I continue, just so anyone on chat is realizing this, like, I'm not doing a full-on Zarbon impression. To anyone that knows Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the animated series, it's Prince Ojin near the end of the second season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Anyone that knows, just look it up. Prince Ojin, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. You'll understand what I mean. Anywho, my French now. There's no stopping you in there, is there, Mr. White?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out yet, though.
The brain blasting.
Just a sec.
It's
Lana,
all in the hood.
you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always do everything. Why don't you just tell us?
She actually does know everything at this moment. She just isn't allowed to say it.
Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't ever recall asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold?
Because I had no
He's
tits.
offering too. Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Or are you just a cold B word?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
If it was a sitcom, the crowd would go wild for him.
Guess I am. Laugh track laughter. I'll come back later.
And then you hear, oh.
Oh.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of noise, pal. Making the detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. You mean this, right? What was he was trying to be French right there for a second. I knew it. My apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I borrow you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident.
But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. A lot of papers. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness? Files for the Joe Dart.
Files received for Lana Sky.
Well done, Cubot.
Okay.
Files for the Joe Dart killing solved 2 years ago? Okay.
My repertoire is being stretched today. I love it. Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're gonna just ignore me?
But why? Why is your name in here?
What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this LSL9 incident. Is that...
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark Killings.
The Joe Dark... No, Lana.
We're losing her.
That's over with. No.
Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. The blue badge is missing me. Sorry, pals, but I'm out of here. Ciao.
Gonna have
Jake
some meals.
Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone's involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence.
Knowing you just might need to be able to. You might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. White. Best of luck.
I better take a good look at this file.
Completely ignores it.
Yeah. All right. We're to be continued now. So we got just bonus evidence to pile through. All in the last day. What?
Something's starting to form a picture of why would these killings need to come up? Why would someone be needing to hide evidence or mess with evidence? My theory is possible. It's like, yeah, they say they killed the guy, but what if someone else tried to take up his mantle? That happens a lot in police procedural drama stuff.
Copycat killers.
Oh yeah, the worst. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Oh boy. Repertoire, don't fail me now. Witness, please.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Please state your name and occupation.
What happened to George? Yeah, George. So we need to relieve.
He's muted.
Oh.
So he's probably away from keyboard again.
Oh no, he's dead.
You know what? Give the voiceover to it explodes for the judge then.
Thank God.
Since Emma is AFK too.
Seems fair. Hot potato judge. He's going through so many different blunts.
It's just a
Me,
phase.
partner?
Okay.
Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
Let me guess. Manifest destiny, huh?
Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're on patrol now.
God, I'm glad they let me have this here. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind. I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct? I say, according to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly.
I can't stand idioms.
Please share with us your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain old English, please. I'm old
To be or not to be.
Ye old English.
That's actually beginning modern English, by the way. I said my job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems and a way. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Damn, no pull punches there. Bro just went straight for the beard.
What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
That's what seems like trouble.
Like a joker in a card deck.
Okay, Mr. H, it's all yours.
That's like
That was a
first time.
quick testimony.
Take no
Yeah.
prisoners.
All right. My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone orchard. I think I need to translate that for the judge here. How exactly do you keep an eye on the evidence room?
Just make sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life.
This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? Okay, 3 rounds of time, okay. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
No desperado I know lets rules get in his way.
No desperados I know join the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime,
Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
there was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker room. Do you know anything about that while I take some of these opioids?
Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired?
Yeah, he's not doing his job very well.
Besides, a room protected by 2 security systems, okay. You used to be a detective. So you used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism?
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite incredible.
That seems like a personal insult because he rides a bike.
Yeah.
The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence.
Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the
sorry.
crime.
That explodes.
Sorry, I thought you were still
I just
ingesting.
spaced out for a second. Can
You
you
good.
tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
If I remember right, I was at the
Yeah.
street side saloon. Oh,
So you were at the bar?
what were you doing in a place like that?
Getting shot. I was in spaghetti. Spaghetti Western, really? Not even angels? Not even angels steak lunches can beat that parlor's bongol sepia pasta.
You either tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles.
Western noodles, Your Honor.
Oh,
Not all
that's
desperados eat tacos, partner. Well, yeah, then they wouldn't be desperados. They're called gachos. Spanish for cowboy.
That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least. I didn't get to read that.
Oh,
all.
sorry. I pushed it too early. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, Did you not want a raise this year? I'm not an instant traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail, okay? Alright.
What does he
Out
mean
of-
by that?
Out of ammo, Officer Marshall.
That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that.
Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I better up the ante. Okay, so we clearly have his prints here.
Why would that be his blood, though? Or that was a bloody fingerprint. Why would his hand be bloody? Are we saying he was Detective Goodman?
Could be. Okay, let's take a look at this. We have 4 pages of this. Incident number SL9. Closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Crime serial murderer. Sentence death. Victims Edward Jones, Edith Kirby, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Oh, Neil Marshall.
Yep, Marshall.
Okay.
Jason Knight. Rachel Moss.
The trial date, head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witness Lana Skye and Emma Skye. Executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Skye. Head investigator Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Starr.
Investigator, not detective, not a prosecutor.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, all right. And what's his name? Neil Marshall was one of the victims. So
sounds like a brother or a cousin or something, or even a father.
Okay, keep an eye on the bone orchard. Okay, so what do we have here? We have this stack of evidence, but I don't think it's relevant for this situation.
Nah.
We got the security camera, which we kind of used on Meekins a whole bunch. Found bloody handprint left the evidence room. The print has been wiped away. This unstable jar, pieced back together from fragments, found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Evidence locker. Only assigned detective prints can unlock it. Indicator lamps light up when it's open. We got the rubber glove. Evidence for floors. And we got the screwdriver, which we have yet to use. Oh, wait, would this be connected to the other old case? AI-16? No, that's SL9. Okay, never mind. This is SL9 here. Extremely thin rubber glove. Goodman's lost item report. Half-written document. Can only be submitted to chief of police. Scene of the stabbing. Okay, I think at that point everything's kind of moot. So let's keep that in mind. My job was to keep a warrior eye on Bone Archer.
Hold on a second. No, wait.
What?
The ID card thing. There was someone who entered in. Card number 7777777. There's one name we do not know yet.
Now 420.
Before Miles came in, before everyone else, there was someone else there. We need to see his ID. Every policeman has an ID, right? So he needs to show his ID. And he claims he's never been in there. And since we wipe everything after 6 hours, he could have easily wiped that footage after he stepped in there, which means he could have swiped evidence from there.
And because he's not good with
he
technology.
Says, I haven't been there in weeks. It's like, prove it. Show us your ID card.
My job was to keep a warrior eye on the Bone Orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, besides a room protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon. I'm just an industry traveling man. Okay. Well, then it would be right here, right? Besides the room protected by 2 security systems anyway?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think so, but go ahead. You say.
Well, it's like, yeah, we need to have him show his ID. Nothing would necessarily prompt us to say his ID, though. But I'm thinking that's the proof. It's either him or someone else. But there's no other policeman that would belong to, unless it's Gumshoes. But
well, Gumshoe would have told us, because he told us about Edgeworth's number.
that is true.
Okay.
But yeah, protected by 2 systems, that would mean, yeah, the fingerprint thing or the ID thing would have had to come up here. So potentially this.
Yeah.
Because there's one other ID. Let's try it. We already saved, so it's worth something.
Nope.
Cheating! Let's go.
It has to be there somewhere, though.
My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make 3 rounds a day, but it ain't my style. Besides, the room is protected by 2 security systems.
Go back to the one before. 3 times a day. But he only entered in there once, potentially. Then it's like, oh, then who entered in here that one time? If not you, who else? Maybe throw it out here. Maybe?
Nope.
Oh, well, strike 2.
All right, let's steer away from that for a bit. See what else we can think of.
Okay, well, that was the thing that hunch that Ben had. Again, I don't think this is relevant yet. Okay, well, yeah.
It's possible the security footage has to do with it. He says, I made my rounds 3 times a day, but he claims he wasn't there. But then who saved the videotape? Wouldn't it have been erased?
Found a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. The print has been wiped. Jar pieced back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing.
I don't think that's relevant.
It has to be with a bloody hand at this point. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. Besides, the room was protected by 2 security things. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down.
How does he know that there's 2 systems if he doesn't use it? How would he know that? I mean, Edgeworth did say it's been known that some officers don't know, but...
What if I throw the handprint here?
That doesn't.
God damn.
Wait, what? That was a random place to put it.
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet, you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds, about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
No. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall.
Oh, welcome to the stream, Kate Streams 2000? To whatever this is.
The Zarbon Show. About the blood-stained fingerprints.
Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the crime scene.
Yada.
Well,
Oh, you see, I was born with them.
You do that while I try this sweet bomb.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated.
Unless we can prove that the locker is not his.
Well, why else would he touch it?
Well, remember, he says he's not good with technology, so he wouldn't know. Remember, some people don't know the difference. So if he tried touching it and trying to get in, but, it's not his, maybe he wasn't focusing on that was his. Maybe it was another locker nearby.
Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Wait, how would he know? See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness's explanations appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Alright, let's take a look at each of these things here. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room.
But he only shows up once a month.
Well, remember, he used to work as an investigator at the time, so I think he's trying to lean on that. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. And I said what I mean. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint locks all this time without ever knowing it. Marshall's fingerprints, found on the bloody handprint of Marshall's own locker. The prints have been wiped away. Okay, so now we established that. One of them just happened to be at the same place at the bloodstain's handprint. Okay, let's push that. So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened.
The murderer touched the locker with, okay, by chance. I'm gonna push everything as I normally do. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Okay. Unrelated?
They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other's a type of murder. Stop talking about homonyms.
He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
This only makes sense in English.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this.
Boom! Called it!
Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How did he know they're wearing gloves?
How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints.
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get in the picture, partner?
The picture.
This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
Sorry, hold on. I was looking at the tape and it was like, wait, is it Ben's? The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in the video, right, partner? What do you mean by that?
You want me to tie this to the crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But the video's next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you
mean
can't
like
see.
an elephant?
The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Ooh, I know how. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
The Blue Badger.
Was
That does not look like Sonic the Hedgehog.
was allegedly dancing in the evidence room at the time of the murder.
Someone could have been hiding behind it.
That
Oh, the
probably isn't what we're going to use yet.
Wait a minute. Look at the face. Look at the face. It has a mark on it. A handprint on it.
A handprint. Yes, it does.
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
There you go.
Order. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall.
He
Hey,
doesn't
look at
have
handprint.
right there. Right here. You could barely
Yeah.
see
It's got
it.
the handprint.
Okay. Is this gonna just show us the entire bit here? Yeah. So he must have moved it right in front of there to cause that interference, and just got lucky. So right here. Let's get a more middle shot of this. Right here.
One way to find out.
There. How's that for evidence?
Please allow me to apologize for my colleague, Your Honor. He gets carried away sometimes.
Yes, well, this certainly isn't a first.
Will you forgive him too, Officer Marshall? He's not a bad man, just a bit disillusioned. Of course. I'm not one to gun down unarmed boys.
Oh, great. Now Edgeworth is defending me? So that means I missed the mark. What? How?
Obviously, there's something else you're missing.
Hold on. So let me load up again. Yeah, that was right before we were going to show the tape. Okay. So what are we looking at here? So I can't believe we're back on this tape. I thought we were done with this tape. Okay, so we already proved this bit here, right? So if we fast forward here,
So, hold on. The locker that has the handprint is that one?
I believe so.
No, I think that's I think it is. Also,
I think it's closer to the...
Right here.
No, the handprint would be towards the center.
Right
Yeah,
here.
wasn't
Like,
it?
like behind the badger.
Be right behind the badger's head, wouldn't it?
Oh, like right around here?
yeah.
That's where Detective Gumshoe's locker was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, there's nothing suspicious with it.
All right, and then they'll leave and they'll pan back. Now let's.
That. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it.
Oh!
He stuffed in that thingamajig there at the last minute. Do you not see that, Ben? Do you see that?
Yeah, I saw, Captain. I saw what you're talking about. That little white sheet that went inside the locker.
It's in there at the very end. At the very end.
Okay.
Because I'll have to see what you mean when you click on it.
We're gonna look at that.
Okay, so there's nothing there. Nothing there. They have a scuffle. They turn around.
Okay.
Nothing there.
It's not the way at the end, Captain. The end.
Yeah, right near the end of that.
So it's open, and then all right, going. Aha!
Right there. Bringing our attention back to the security camera. You know, I'm surprised we did not even notice that when we were looking originally. I did not even see that occur there. Okay, interesting. It's a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in the video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is 8 words.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out.
Oh, no, that's me.
Oh, sorry.
Or technically,
No, that's me now because I'm back.
Okay.
I'm
know, I was
also
just
going to have
about
to
to say.
step out for a second. It's almost time for my dinner with my family. It's getting that late.
No, remember I was playing on the other guy, and the captain wants me to play him while one of you two can play the judge.
Yeah,
Oh, you-
and since he's gone now, you can play the judge again.
Yeah.
I'll do Western guy.
I'll just be muted until I actually say my goodbyes. I just got to get ready.
All right, Ben.
All
We should presumably still be here, but we'll go. Go ahead, have fun.
All right, the locker with the white clothes
Cloth.
stuck out.
Cloth.
The
You're
cloth
close.
sticking out. That was the witness, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
I'm not your friend.
Ding 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 ding. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What is the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order. It would have been me.
Hold your horses, sorry partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Oh,
Even
wait.
Edgeworth knows.
Oh, who's gonna do Edgeworth? Explodes, I volunteer you to be Edgeworth.
Oh, so you don't want me to do the Zarvan voice again? Okay.
The murderer needs to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like that? I'm a wanted man? Sorry, I had to improvise that. This guy's just plain dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker, now prove it. Only assigned detective prints can unlock it. Indicator lights light up when it's open. That would have to be our answer here.
Can we save it?
I can't save right now, but I mean, we got leeway. We still got leeway. But yeah, that seems to be the only thing, because I don't think he's aware of that, so... Or completely forgot about that. Fingerprint sensor. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. Flashback! Okay. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Goodbye.
What is he eating?
You got my Texas
Hey,
jerky.
the slither.
Oh, or that too. No! And red text. That's called a callback, everybody.
Order. Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, hold on. Something's up.
All right, I'll take care of this one. Ole, please answer the question.
Was he now a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can.
Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems that Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right, my moaning friend. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let us hear it.
Where was he at the time of the crime? Okay, so...
I know this one. I remember it very vividly.
Tell me.
All right, you want to go to the blue spot?
A victim, right here? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here.
And click it.
Oh, okay. Officer Marshall is standing right here.
There? But that's where the victim, Dr. Goodman, was.
Detective, but yeah. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up as Detective Goodman.
But that... but that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Also objection. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection! May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Flashback! More flashbacks! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yeah, he would have indeed to enter the evidence room, so it must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say about this, Officer Marshall? You got quite an imagination, partner. Got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? Still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to bring a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care of your
Cooperative.
cooperative sorry,
Disposition.
disposition.
I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining.
Well, Mr. Wright,
Coordinate that
have
insult.
any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Your beer still ain't. The Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim. Yeah.
Oh,
Well-
that's still me.
Who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. So obvious he's the one. What can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Oh, yeah.
This is a flashback technically, so we don't have to read it.
Phoenix, flashback has Phoenix in it. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
Hold on, let me save real fast. Okay.
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite his chance it might be discovered later as it had been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defendant's argument, Officer Jack Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth in red text callback is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all the unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Well, very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing this crime, this witness opens
Sorry, I'm just doing that out of habit, man. Go ahead.
opens the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness.
Oh, it just did
Open
that.
the locker.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta send a message out right now.
All right.
Okay, good. So wait, what's the question? What is the question again?
Show him why the witness, why he put the white cloth in there or something.
There's the glove. Maybe the white cloth is one of that. The glove was the. Well, there have to be two gloves, right?
The glove,
his
the
shirt-
glove
his-
isn't cloth; it's rubber.
The shoulder. Remember we
I
saw
think
blood?
George got it.
Oh,
Blood.
this right here, and this entire thing is white. So you just shoved it in there.
Yeah, to hide the evidence.
Okay, we'll go for that one. Oh yeah, so just right there,
I've
huh?
had the badgers.
Yep.
For some reason, you
George,
disguise
the
yourself.
point.
Yeah, we got a point for George on that one. For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room. Though I don't know what, and entered the evidence room. Though I don't know to what end yet.
Yet.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When you asked to show your ID, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat?
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated you all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop with the moaning. It's actually kind of creepy. 2 years ago.
Never.
Yeah. If you were only half as persistent than you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now. Now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell us the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems the time has come, and so have I. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole a detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I was expecting Officer Meekins. I had knocked him out. Managed to escape. I knew which areas would be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So that's suppose the victim was really you.
Well, there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is that he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. All right, confession
Wait,
time.
that's true.
I had to do it today. I just couldn't stand let it die. Okay. What do you say when you say it? Do you mean? Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only the case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. The case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. What? Someone saying something?
Wasn't me.
Sorry, my mom came.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. But Officer
All right, I
Marshall
guess
wasn't
we
in charge
just
of it.
finish this up a little bit.
Okay. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. Okay. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
Hold on a sec. So you did it to fool the security camera.
Oh, I guess you're judged too now.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that's really why. So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. I returned his card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open up the locker yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I was expecting Officer Meekins, knocked him out. Okay. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins to try to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins, certainly a 1 in a million type person. Why did I do a Texan accent there? Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. There we go. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. And by that I mean cut it completely.
When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. Me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say.
So you knocked the Officer Meekins out and...
Managed to escape, and I knew which areas would be caught on camera. Okay. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat and in your struggles with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day...
There was any murder? Okay. Let's go for that. But the blood found at the scene indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim showed on the tape as me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker? Yeah, that's not right.
Actually, no, I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What, Mr. Edgeworth? Where is the evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. That's a little better.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country for now. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get the answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
Can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Okay. But the case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Indeed. That's the reason why the evidence was stored in the evidence room. And why I'm smoking this fat blunt.
Not again.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at the trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with the incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think is the real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone's involved here is in some way related to the case somehow. Yeah, that's how my thought process goes. I better take another look at the files. Okay, so we have the files here. We loop back. Files from the Joe Dark killing solved 2 years ago. So the only thing that really comes to mind, because we got the serial murder, sentenced to death, Joe Dark, and we have Neil Marshall. And I can't exactly see his name here, but he's also named Marshall. Just had to do it. I stole Detective's ID. I was expecting Officer Meekins. I knew which areas could be seen. There wasn't anything there. I can't just forget SL9 incident. I think that's where I throw it at him. That has to be the only time for me to actually throw this at him here, is this. Yeah. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I've seen the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. The list of murder victims? Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall? Wow, that was terrible.
Yeah. Terrible as your face. I'm sure you heard his name 2 years ago. Oh, wow, that's a new picture. You received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 incident case before I did.
That's right, he was killed. The case fell into your hands.
But what's this in relation to you?
He was my brother. Okay, so we established that now. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That's the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That's all we ever needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions?
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. This blunt is done. Also, now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
He just flicks the blunt off the table, hits Phoenix in the head.
That was the last day the LSL-9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze me, idiot. At exactly the same time as the murder of the prosecution office, a fake murder was going on the day at the police department.
Chance? It's got to be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Objection! But wait, the verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remains the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Seems to me you've always got the draw on you, partner.
All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Also, murder took place at the prosecutor's office, in my car specifically. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable, somehow. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
No! Well, you used your word.
I rest my case. Since the trial has reached a conclusion, there's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright, you freaking idiot. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I've proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Yeah, close enough. Yana, wait.
Emma!
The defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright? Are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edwards, please. Dang it. I don't want to leave any loose ends, even if it is this idiot. You want a minute? I'll give you 3, moron. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SM9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings?
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. Human traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints were found on it, right? I think you are an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. But I figured if I examined it scientifically, like a genius, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
So, did you find something?
No.
Huh.
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Maybe I am stupid.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional, unlike I am. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Thumbs up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day, and I have lots of jokes to do.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with the handprint of Detective Gumshoe's locker, as I saved? Could there be something I'm missing? This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems to be clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on here?
Yes.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. It's gonna have to do with the little badger because of the handprint that we just noticed.
Yeah. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Again. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
Question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
Yeah, it'd be this guy here. What about that piece of plywood? The blue badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Right.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not in here. So watch what happens when we put him in here. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well,
what? Yes.
that's right, as my head twitches. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at the spot on the locker. What?
So that means, just exactly what does this mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces are undeniably found at the locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Sir Right, I think it's time to think it through scientifically.
Emma,
On that afternoon, Officer Meekin was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? If we put it down, it would have been impossible to leave a handprint on the locker.
so that must mean this blood mark was left before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... Okay, speed it up, guys. I'm trying to make my point here. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on the tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
Objection! That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Objection back! The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Objection back again. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to the officer Meekin being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be present. Did.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Excuse me.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when this first crime took place?
Okay, a jar pieced back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Somehow I feel like that is an option. Somehow I feel like this has to do it. What shows that the first time crime took place? We have the unstable jar with the dried up blood, so that happened prior to all this.
Well, we got a save file made, so this is the proof you need. Simple, then don't get wrong.
Oh, okay. I take it back, as in I rewind time. Okay.
Vice the Dusto.
Okay, first took place. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room. What shows when the first crime took place?
The locker.
Like this, right here? The marshal's fingerprints?
No, the locker itself. It was already opened.
Hmm.
And again, it might also be the glove.
Okay, that's not it.
Alright, so try the locker, and if not, then I'm out of ideas.
Let me see.
Yep, I'm out of ideas.
Then
Well,
the
I
war of
like
attrition.
it.
It's war of attrition, my friend. I'm kind of at a stump process here. So, watch it be the tape again. Nope, not the tape again. Okay, I get people in the comments saying, "Man, Mark's not even trying. If he would have played the original version, he would have been dead a long time ago." Like, yeah, that's why we have save states. Okay. And you know what? Maybe it's just this guy. Because again, we still haven't addressed the little handprint on there. Ah.
Nope.
Nope, I don't want to save that. Okay, I'm starting to think there's only one piece of evidence shows that the defense will please present the evidence. What shows when the first crime took place?
The knife?
Nope, not the knife. Not the knife. I'm trying to think about it in my head a bit while I'm scanning through the evidence here. So that's nothing. That's nothing. This is nothing. That is nothing. Print has been wiped. Did I use this one already?
You haven't,
Okay, well that's...
but it's not it.
I'm trying to make sense of what it could be.
Does anyone else get the sense of deja vu?
I can never let him know. Scene of the stabbing. Okay. Handwritten document dated 2/21 can only be submitted. It's not quite finished yet. Brought back to his office by Gant's request.
Let's take a look at the time card.
$420. Yeah. Mike Meekins. As soon as Mike Meekins is there, what's his name was already inside, posing as Bruce Goodman.
We have the 777777777 unaccounted for. This is probably wrong, but let's try it anyways.
Oh. The crime scene took...
right. The one thing I didn't think was right.
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, the ID card would have been required.
The ID card. Oh, the ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Oh. Duh. Miles Edgeworth, what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
No, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test the blood was there. However, the second crime took place. Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry away his body away. I'd have to carry it away twice. And clean up the blood, unfortunately, that's physically impossible. Even with my ascot. My whatever it's called. I'm sorry about the right Zarbon. I'm just filling in for that one.
I'm a Dollar Tree store version of Zarbon.
What that would mean, the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining, and it's at Infinite 7. Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with the quadruple duple 7.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number this is. 7777777, you get the rest. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of the ID card. At least at present.
What? Explain yourself, son.
That ID number, the multiple sevens, belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection! But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking yet, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge? You're all like, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Objection. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question.
Yes.
Did your mama buy you that ascot?
My mom is dead.
Exactly. Now. No, not to you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana?
Objection. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we looked up her ID number, and it's not 777. You get the rest.
Don't play with me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SL9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Oh, great. This is in a conundrum without Ben here to voice it. I'll have to voice her.
Do you need the witness to repeat the question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. Now that's going to have to be the best I
2
can give
years
out.
ag- 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At that time, we...
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At last, I did. At least I did.
Lana!
Shut up! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress a crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved,
But Lana!
even if it involved forging evidence. See, that's what I'm talking about.
No. No! Order! Order! Order!
Can I get a number 5?
I've been wanting to make that joke, but you already goes too fast.
No, we're on day
I'm
3.
Shadow J.
We can't do that. I thought 3 days was the rule.
Maybe we just thought we skipped a day and then didn't.
It did say day 3, but we'll save the progress here. Okay. Well, we'll save here, and then we'll go to do something else in the meantime. So the day's still young, and unfortunately, I'm feeling at some point you're probably gonna end up going to sleep. So we'll play a smaller game, and
I
then
got
we'll
half an hour.
Oh, you got half an hour. So we'll play a smaller game, and then we'll come back when Ben and George return. So we still got plenty of time to get this case over and done with, and I'll have to give him a recap. So until then, everybody, take care and bye-bye.
Bye.